and I've defined them as what I call the COWS program. COWS is an acronym for chlorophyll, oil, water, and salt. These are the 4 essential foods that one needs to be eating or ingesting on a daily basis in order to maintain its alkaline design. This physical body has to be addressed first before we necessarily address the emotional body. As we bring our bodies back into balance, as we begin to feel better, we start to think better. And as we start to think better, we start to do better. When we are in a state of acidosis, or whatever level of acidity that we find ourselves, the body goes into a preservation mode. It starts to react to excess acidity that's not being properly eliminated. One of these reactions is the body begins to retain water to buffer acidity, to dilute the acids, to keep vital organs flush, leaving skin prematurely wrinkled or dry. This is the result, of course, is dehydration. The body retains fat. In our book, The pH Miracle for Weight Loss, I've expressed a theory that obesity is not a fat problem, but obesity is an acid problem. In the body's inability to remove its own dietary and metabolic waste products, the body retains fat in order to act as a parking place for these residues to be stored at. Unfortunately, acids are stored in the breast tissue as a fatty tissue and also the brain tissue, which is also a fatty tissue. So the retention of fat is critical in order to maintaining the pH balance of blood. The body will leach minerals from the bones and the tissues to neutralize acidity, which can lead to stones. All stones is a result of the body's means of protecting itself, and muscle breakdown or tissue wasting. We see this in end disease conditions. Another very interesting thing the body does is it starts creating fibrous cross-links in order to encapsulate cells that have been spoiled with acid, forming tumors. Current medical science looks at tumors as something bad and needs to be removed. In reality, tumors is the body's solution to encapsulate cells that have been spoiled from metabolic and dietary acids in order to preserve and protect healthy tissue. The tumor is the solution. To remove the tissue or to remove the tumor disturbs the healthy tissue and can result in systemic poisoning of other tissues or a domino effect that can lead to more serious problems than allowing the tumor to complete its stages of enveloping the acidic cells, crystallizing those cells, and then naturally breaking down. Another preservation mode which the body goes into as far as removing acids, and we see this, one of the, and I don't know if you're familiar with this statistic, but there's over 1 million cases of skin cancer diagnosed every year. It's not added to the other types of cancers that are diagnosed, but it is probably one of the most prolific cancers, and the reason for that, and the reason why there is so much skin cancer, is because most people are urinating through their skin. Now, I want to give you a gross vision of this. Skin cancer is a result of acidification process of the body trying to maintain the blood pH as it's moving acids out that aren't properly being eliminated through urination or coming out through the skin. And of course this can lead to all kinds of skin challenges or problems. And so we're seeing a rise in skin cancers around the world because of this. So I'd like to suggest to you, if you would open your minds for a minute, and I have no intention to offend anyone here, but to maybe think in terms of not thinking outside the box, because I'd rather propose to you that I would like to make the box a little bit bigger, to add a few other things. For example, the digestive system is not designed for the digestion of food, but is designed for the alkalizing of food in preparation for becoming the new blood and then the new body cells. Now that's a radical statement. Now if you look up what the word radical means in the Oxford Dictionary, it means at the root of truth. So it's okay to be radical. I'm okay with that. But all of a sudden we're describing the stomach as a whole different, in a whole different process, in that the stomach's pH after digestion, after the alkaline buffers have been used up, after the sodium bicarbonate has neutralized the acid of the food that has just been ingested to prepare it for the small intestine, all that's left are the hydrochloric acid residues, which measure between 1.5 to 3. Medical science has then determined after the fact that the normal pH of the stomach is 3, where in reality the normal pH of the stomach should be in the high 7s and low 8s. When we start shifting the pH of the stomach using alkalizing compounds, acid reflux disappears. It disappears naturally because what we're doing is supporting the alkaline buffering system, realizing that the way food gets digested is as soon as we bite into it. As soon as we bite into something, we disturb its organization and it starts to unravel. And then through that degeneration process, as food digests from the inside out rather than the outside in, acids are released. Now, I realized this when I started testing the pH of the saliva. It's a very simple test. You take this pH paper here. Many of you are probably familiar with it. This happens to be a pH hydrant paper. And you can just tear off a little piece of this, and you can do this test. You actually test the pH of your saliva before you put any food in your mouth. And I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see what color that is?
Dark green.
It's a dark green. Okay, well, the pH scale goes from 0 to 14, and anything over 7 is going to go green to dark green, and when it's over 8, it's going to go blue. And this is actually, what color is it now? Is it more blue or is it green? It's dark blue. So that would mean my saliva is running at a pH of 8 or above. Most pHs, when you're in a state of health, will run around 6.8 to 7.2, unless you're conscious about this and actually trying to maintain an alkaline environment. Your pHs of your saliva will run 8. Now, if I put an almond in my mouth and start chewing it, the pH will actually, because of my alkaline reserves, will actually go up even higher. It'll go from, here in this case, it'll go from an 8 clear up to an 8.5 to a 9. Because what's happening is the salivary glands are starting to release the number one buffer of the human body, and that's sodium bicarbonate. It's literally dousing the food with sodium bicarbonate, with baking soda. And so what will happen if you have alkaline reserves when you're testing your saliva is you'll find that as you test the saliva and you're in a state of health, that the pH will not go down because it's not an acidic effect. The pH will go up because it's an alkaline effect. The salivary glands do not release digestive enzymes. The salivary glands release alkalizing compounds to raise the alkalinity of the food as food is releasing acid as it's disorganizing. Any food that's spoiling or disorganizing, releases acids. We know that just by opening up our refrigerators. You just look at the back of the refrigerator and say, well, that food is spoiling. It's going acidic, right? And that little sticky residues are the acids, which is proof that it's spoiling. And the smell is also there too as well. So when we break the membranes of any food, acids are released. Those acids have to be neutralized, and from the mouth all the way down through the alimentary canal, every action is to alkalize that food. I can see no evidence anywhere in the alimentary canal described by current medical science currently that this system is a digestive system. Once we embrace this new concept of alkalizing our food, this is when things start to change for us.